I just watched Gladiator II starring Paul Mescal, Denzel Washington, and Pedro Pascal, and there's a lot to unpack in this spoiler-free movie review. Let's get right into it. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Julian. For those of you who do know me, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm reviewing a movie I was very nervous to see. It's Gladiator II. When the creation of this movie was first announced, I, like many other people, probably thought, why? I understand we live in a world now where big studios want to pour money into prequels, sequels, and spin-offs of classic movies, but I thought, are we really gonna risk it with Gladiator? For those of you unaware, Gladiator II follows the first Gladiator movie that came out in the year 2000, directed by Ridley Scott. It's starring Russell Crowe and Joaquin Phoenix, and in my opinion, the original Gladiator movie was incredible. From the soundtrack composed by Hans Zimmer and Lisa Gerrard to the execution of the storyline and action-packed scenes, this movie had it all and it ended perfectly. So when it was announced that Gladiator II was set to release, I noticed a division form. You had people who were excited to have Ridley Scott bring us back into the arena, and people who were afraid that a sequel would take away from the original. And now I'm prepared to lay my opinion out on the table while the movie is still fresh in my mind. Disclaimer, you may not agree with my opinion, and that's okay. The beauty about the internet is that you can share your personal thoughts in the comment section below. Also, mini disclaimer, I might have some issues pronouncing some of these names. Bear with me. Now, I'm going to break the spoiler-free movie review into 4 parts. First, I'll give you an overview of the movie along with my reaction. Second, we'll talk characters. Third, themes. And fourth, would I recommend this movie? First, the overview. Gladiator II picks up 16 years after the original Gladiator, where we follow the main character, Lucius Verus. When Romans attack his home, he finds himself following a similar path to that of Maximus from the first Gladiator, fighting as a gladiator himself in the Colosseum after being enslaved to the Roman Empire. Like the first movie, this story is packed with some pretty epic battles, political drama, and personal revenge as Lucius tries to navigate a Rome ruled by corrupted leaders. Does that sound familiar? If so, that's probably because most of this movie basically follows the same trope as the first movie. But I will say, Ridley Scott told this new story in a way that acts as an ode to the first story, rather than a complete copy of it or as a cash grab. I went to this movie thinking it was going to be predictable, and it wasn't. At least not for me. For example, while Lucius' motive to seek revenge is similar to that of Maximus, the obstacles he faces are different and exciting in their own way. We see some new, unique ways the Colosseum was designed for certain productions, and the villains are a bit harder to identify at first. I saw it with my friend Sean, and we're notorious for picking out things before they happen or predicting what will happen next. And I found myself leaning over to him every once in a while saying this is about to happen or this might happen. And I was wrong every time. In my opinion, the action scenes were very well choreographed, the CGI was good, and I was thoroughly engaged throughout the movie. We also got some flashbacks to the first movie, which I thought they worked in smoothly. Look, I know this may be hard, but if you go into this movie with an open mind and without directly comparing Maximus to Lucius, I think it's hard not to enjoy this movie. If you're going to spend time and money on this movie, understand that for a movie that people claim didn't need to be made, this sequel gives us even more of the Gladiator world we haven't seen since 2000. Now, let's talk characters. Here's a quick rundown of the main characters in Gladiator II. We have Lucius Verus, who is our new protagonist. Lucius unintentionally follows in Maximus' footsteps as our main gladiator. He's basically the guy. He's tough, he's driven, and seeking revenge while navigating Rome's dangerous politics. A lot like Maximus in the first movie. Macrinus, gotta forgive me on the pronunciations of the names. Macrinus is a former slave turned powerful figure in the gladiator world. He's sharp, he's cunning, and he knows how to play the political game, but his past is fueling this personal agenda he carries with him. General Acacius is a general for Rome. He's a Roman general. Acacius is this noble guy, yet he's super conflicted. He's trying to balance a sense of duty with the messy realities of Roman leadership. Then we have Emperors Geta, and Caracalla. I hope that's the one name I got right. We got the twin emperors. These twin emperors are unpredictable, they're power hungry, and absolutely unhinged, making them these wild cards in the chaos of Rome during this time. Now, if you haven't picked up on it yet, a lot of these characters, if not all, are literally parallels to each of the main characters in the first movie. What's the saying? If it ain't broke, don't fix it? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, listen, regardless of the similarities, in my opinion, these characters bring new traits, a new energy, and dynamic to the table. For example, Denzel Washington's performance was incredible, and seeing two unhinged twins in a leadership role made for a really interesting and entertaining dynamic. If a comparison has to be drawn, which there shouldn't be, they didn't excite me the way Joaquin Phoenix's Commodus did every time his character was in a scene. But these are entirely different characters, so it's not fair for me to draw that comparison. In terms of that excitement over like what happens next, I just didn't have it in this movie the same way I did when I watched the first movie. Now, let's talk themes. The three themes I picked up on in this movie are going to be pretty much the same three themes I picked up on in the first Gladiator movie. First theme, we have legacy and redemption. The movie explores how the legacy of Maximus influences Lucius's journey, driving him to confront his past and strive for a better future. It's about carrying forward values like honor and integrity while navigating the harsh realities of life in ancient Rome. Next theme is power and corruption. A major focus is on the political scheming and moral decay of Rome, mostly through its leadership, which we see through the unhinged twins. The emperors and those in power demonstrate how absolute power can lead to chaos and betrayal. The third theme I picked up on is purpose. Lucius's journey is deeply personal as he struggles to find his place in a world where he's reconciling who he is with who he wants to become. Alright, moment of truth now. Would I recommend this movie? I recommend this movie to anybody who can watch it without comparing it directly to the first movie. I know it's riddled with similarities and parallels, but if you see it as a continuation and addition to a storyline, rather than comparing which character fought better or was more unhinged, I genuinely think you'll enjoy it. This is Ridley Scott's story, and as an author myself with my own stories, I would like to think that my readers would trust that if I'm writing a sequel, it means there's more of my story to tell. That being said, I think Ridley Scott continued the legacy of Maximus well. People will say this sequel wasn't necessary, and while I agreed before going into it, I walked out wondering how someone could dislike it because it really did maintain many successful elements from the first movie. In all, I personally enjoyed it, and I hope you do too. If you got this far in the video, I ask that you give this video a like and subscribe if you want to see more content from me. Also, if you're looking for a current read, I am the author of 3 books that I plan to turn into films. The first is Night After Night, the story about an up-and-coming nightclub promoter who gets exposed to the Hollywood party scene. The second is Right My Wrongs, a rock star romance about 2 songwriters who fall in love through the songs they write together. And my third novel, Look Away, is a psych thriller about a TV show that manipulates people into taking their own lives on television. So that's my review. Make sure to comment your thoughts on this movie or even leave a movie or book recommendation. Thanks for watching.